Yeah, my name is Scott Woodhead and I'm a joiner and property developer.
So I'm Nicole and I'm a nurse, work for the NHS.
The reason why we chose the name for the hideout is because of where we got engaged in America on the ranch. It just meant something to us.
Yeah, so the planning process really, it was quite lengthy. We did purchase the land with planning permission already for the 3 lodges, but when we bought the land we wanted to just, there was a few elements that we wanted to tweak. We wanted to make the lodges slightly bigger if we could. We wanted wider corridors, wider door frames, just so that a wheelchair user could use them if needed. And that took about a year really for working alongside the parish council. So we did have to get an architect involved just to redo some plannings.
Lodges stand out because I think the location is for everyone really. There's the Dalby Woods just up the road, there's the sea just 10 minutes away, there's York for winter sports as well as bodyboarding at Wycombe Lakes and just being nice and warm and with the hot tub really.
I left the building part to Scott, so he built the lodges and then he sort of handed it all over to me and said, there you go, I'm done now, I've done my bit. So then I just went, got let loose with some colours. I just tried to keep the colours and the furnishings quite warm with a country feel. That's what we personally like, so we wanted to make it homely.
The best feature on the property, I would recommend probably the bifolds, brings the outside in, and then the sound system as well. We've got the indoor sound system, but then it transfers to outside when you're in the hot tub. So
when we purchased the land, it was just a sloped bank. The soil is quite clayey soil here, and we started building on New Year's Day. We put the first steel structure up on New Year's Day of 2021. So it was freezing, it was snowing. So yeah, it was a tough winter trying to get all of the main structures up.
I definitely don't do any marketing. My wife does a bit of it, but to be honest, Sykes are amazing. They do a lot of it for ourselves, so it gives us time to actually have family time.
So when we first opened our doors to our very first guest, it was very nerve-wracking. We set a deadline, so I think we went to advert with Sykes in the January and we were opening in the May. So we knew our deadline and we still had quite a lot to do. So it was a stressful few months leading up to it. And then when we had our first booking, we thought, oh, this is really real now. This is actually happening. I think the first day that we opened to guests, I think the guests actually turned up 2 hours early. And the lodges were ready, but I was still faffing around, putting fizz in the fridge and, cake on the side and things. So Scott, my husband, I didn't know, he actually turned the guests away and said, oh, we won't be long, we'll be ready shortly. And I was so mad at him. I was like, why have you done that? They're going to give us a bad review. So yeah, we've definitely calmed down since then.
We bought the land and it was a reasonable price and we actually asked our family and what their ideas were. Some of them were like, don't do it. Some of them were like, go for it, why not?
A lot of the reviews and comments are based on the hot tub on an evening. We're really lucky, we get lots of stars in the sky at night time. So if they've been out all day or they've been hiking or cycling and they come back to relax in the hot tub, almost everybody comments on the stars on a night, and that's really nice. So we chose to go through a holiday agency to help us run the properties, simply because we both have our separate professions. So I'm still nursing and my husband Scott, he still has his joinery business. Plus we have a growing family, a young family, so we would just never been able to take on all the aspects. So it's really nice to have an agency to work alongside. They're able to look after the bookings for us, and then when the guests arrive on site we can take over. So marketing for the properties was a bit of a learning curve for us. Again, I'm not a background, I've never had a business before, I've never needed to market anything. Social media I'm a little bit limited on, so that was a big learning curve. But we basically started an Instagram page when we first bought the land, so and we just started posting and documenting, a lot really for our own look back to see the journey that we've come on. So we started with that, and then when we chose to go with Sykes, we obviously got the professional photographs taken to allow Sykes to use them for the bookings really. So we have Thorntonley Dale just a couple of miles along, and that's voted one of the prettiest villages in the UK. So most people go there and have a cup of tea in one of the local cafes. I would hugely be happy recommending Sykes to anybody thinking about property letting. We actually have quite a few friends and relatives that have a holiday cottage or properties that are similar to us, and when we've had the same conversations with them, they've all agreed that Sykes is a great brand to go with. They're really reliable, they're a big enough companies that they've got the advertising and the team behind them for the support. And I think when you're dealing with somebody's holidays, they're precious, it could be just their one holiday a year, you want to get it right, so you want to make sure that process is smooth right from the booking process all the way till the end of their holiday, and Sykes help us to accommodate that.
We definitely don't regret it. It's a perfect decision we've made, and time will tell what happens in the future as well.